Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for coming back for another episode of Bite Size Magic. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Joe Holland, the winner of Frenzy at the Falls. He was playing Rograkh Thrasios, and this is the largest event ever won on that deck. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Welcome back to another episode of Bite Size Magic. Today, I have the winner of Frenzy at the Falls, Joe, on with me today to talk about his run, his deck, and everything in between. So, welcome, Joe. Why don't you just give a little intro to yourself and what you do?
Yeah, thank you, Zach. Really appreciate you having me on. This has just been such a great experience winning this. Yeah, and it's an amazing thing to go into such a large field and come out the victor.
Yeah,
you know?
That's it's a real feeling, right?
It's definitely a surreal feeling. It's definitely just a little bit of like the imposter syndrome kicks in as well. But, I feel like I did put the work in to get here.
Yeah.
I've been pretty devoted to this deck as well.
So the question I like to ask people, like, this is you're number 2 on my my winner interviews. I have no idea what I'm going to call this, but I kind of like having this sort of segment of maybe like a winner circle or something. But
Sure.
Tell me how it feels, like emotions wise, when you won that game. Like as soon as you shook hands, like what was going through your mind? How did it feel in your body? Like, give me kind of a rundown.
So it really felt. I mean, the feeling really rushed over me when I was able to untap. Right when the Niv player finally passed turn, and it was just like, well, at this point, I mean, what could go wrong, honestly?
Right.
It was also just surreal because this is the first tournament I've gone to in a long time of any type where I was basically there by myself. My friend that was supposed to come with me wasn't able to at the last minute, so I was like, well, I'm still going to go. And just winning in that situation is just such a feeling where, most of the friends I made over the weekend were new friends, obviously. I mean, if you made them. But yeah, and it was just something that's so great about the cEDH community specifically is just how welcoming it feels.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really, it just feels like hard work paying off, honestly.
Yeah. It's such a cool feeling. I totally understand where you're coming from. It's great to see like something amount to something bigger. Like for me, I don't really think about tournaments as like the ultimate goal, but I see them as like milestones that tell me like I'm on the right track, where it's like, winning a big tournament like this must just feel like I am doing the right things. I'm going in the right direction. I brewed the deck the right way. I've been practicing the right way. Like all these sort of pieces lined up for you.
Yeah, I think as a competitive player, you just try to make the correct decision every single time. Whether it goes your way or it doesn't, just focus on doing it correctly and eventually results will show. I mean, that's what we all have to believe.
Yeah.
And it's great when that comes to fruition and you actually get justification for the hours and days spent, trying to hone this skill. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, give me kind of a rundown of like what Frenzy was like. Like if you were to kind of describe it maybe in one sentence, then a little more depth, like was it frenzied? Was it chaotic? Or was it a well-run event? Was the East Coast vibe cool? Was Niagara Falls cool? I don't know if you got to see them. But
yeah, Niagara Falls, I didn't end up seeing that much of. I mean, I stayed in the Airbnb very close to the event site, basically just walked there. I mean, often playing in Magic tournaments, you don't really see much of the place you're in. And I would have liked to see the falls maybe on Monday morning, but I just had to get on my plane. So I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I saw the fireworks on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, the event was really well run. I really thought everything about it was fantastic. I mean, probably the best run cEDH event I've attended, but they all just continue to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all building in this format on ourselves. So the judges were really great and savvy from what I saw of the coverage. It was really
phenomenal
spot on.
coverage.
I mean,
oh my God.
Technically and the commentary and yeah, it was all great. I mean, it's and just the environment of a cEDH tournament of that scale. It's just so many passionate people there to show off their decks or their strategies and
there are
just talk
everything.
shop and I mean, it really has just a good vibe overall. I love going to large events.
Yeah, I do too. When I first my first big event was like early Fishbowl, I think like 4 or something, and I was super intimidated. Like it was the largest tournament I've ever been to, and it was like kind of terrifying. But this most recent Fishbowl, that's like one of the largest events we've ever hosted for cEDH. I think it's like top 5 or something. So much fun. It was just like chit chatting with everyone and getting to make new friends and play games. Obviously, did you do any like lobby conning? Was that part of it for you, or was it really just tournament games?
So someone I knew from a previous top 4 in a tournament
Mm-hmm.
was there. This guy Corbin, who's a Blue Farm player. I don't know if you know him,
I do, yeah.
but he's from Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up kind of just tagging along with his crew.
Sweet.
We didn't do LobbyCon, but it had that feeling of we went back to their Airbnb and just hung out and got some games
Nice.
through the night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's sweet.
it's one of the things I really love about cEDH too is just compared to 60 card Magic, after the tournament, everyone's just down to play more.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to try their other deck or
Yeah.
change a few cards or just, decompress in that way instead of just wanting to be done and go to sleep. And yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to just the good vibes around the format.
Yeah. Yeah, we call it grinding a lot, but it never feels that way to me. It always is like, I love playing
Well, it's
cEDH.
such a social thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like you're just banging your head against the wall. You're all in it together. There's
Yeah.
a camaraderie to it.
I totally agree. Yeah. It's something I'm really looking forward to this year is like trying to make it out to more East Coast and Southern events, just because I don't know the players as well, and I'd love to, hang out with you, play some games, check out these really cool locations and venues, and hopefully at some point this year I can come to a few of those. So, but same to you. If you ever get down to the West Coast, I don't know if are you going to Royal Rumble in January?
Probably not in January. I have something to do basically all through January. I'm going on a trip. But after, I do want to keep going to more and more, diamond and platinum level events.
Hell yeah.
That's the highest level right now. So.
Yeah. Was this a diamond? Did we hit diamond status?
Not quite. Not
Okay.
quite. 7
Gotcha.
players short.
7?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
brutal. Oh my God. That's gotta hurt for the points, but it feels like that's like as close as you can get to a diamond, honestly.
The funny thing about large events as they scale, you don't necessarily feel it being a larger event because you still play however many rounds.
Mhm.
It's kind of you just go through and persevere. I mean, obviously, you feel it in the required points to top 16
Sure.
or top cut, but as it scales up, I mean, you're just in that 4-player game,
Yeah. Looking at the event, we had the cutoff looks like 16 points.
Yeah, 16 was the bubble, so some
Yeah.
made it and some didn't.
That's so funny. I think Ian has now been in 17th place in like so many events.
It's so brutal.
Yeah, like the Open, I think he was in 17th place too. Same point totals. But always sucks when you get bubbled out of these top 16s and you're like right there,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a pretty stacked top 16. I mean, not even to mention like a top 4 pod with Waffle, who is in every top 4 pod, it seems like.
He is the end boss.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to know, this is kind of like the age-old question of how long have you been into the cEDH and what pulled you into the format originally, and how has your playstyle kind of evolved? Like what decks did you pick up? What are the archetypes you gravitated towards?
So yeah, this is kind of a long story.
Go ahead.
I've been playing competitive Magic for a really long time. My first Grand Prix was in 2008, and I started playing Casual Commander around the same time.
Nice.
And I just played a lot of competitive Magic, like all through high school and college years.
Mm-hmm.
And I also always played EDH on the side just for fun with like some friends, kind of like a poker night vibe.
Yeah.
And I always thought that they would be separate, that I would have two things that I loved that would really never come together. But
Yeah.
I actually lived away from New Orleans. I lived actually up in the mountains in Colorado at a ski resort for a long time. So I didn't play much competitive Magic at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I kind of got into it a little bit more and I got back in EDH, but I started playing cEDH mainly more heavily because of just how hard it is to play EDH with strangers.
Yeah.
To where you have a disparity you have a disparity in power level or opinions on what's fun, and cEDH kind of solves with its problems.
Mm-hmm.
You're just playing on an even playing field.
Yeah.
So I just was starting to feel good locally,
Mm-hmm.
in my games, and I tried a tournament. My first tournament I played was with Yuriko.
Mm-hmm.
It was about
classic
3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then I played that deck for a while. I learned, kind of about the big threats in the format, how to play around them, how to deal with them. And then I started to feel kind of the limitations that the deck has.
Yeah.
To where your card quality is not the highest and
Mm-hmm.
you're just not playing on the highest level. So I wanted to try something that was a little more proven. So I switched to Rograkh.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Wanted to learn how to win fast without silences.
Yep.
And I guess you have defense grid, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I played that deck for about 9 months through the bans, and then I wasn't really getting results with it. Down here, I'm always like one of the most notorious players in the room. And when I was playing Rograkh, it was just, no one gave me an
Threat
inch.
number one, yeah.
So I actually switched to Aranus Street Urchin.
Yep.
And that's what I won my first tournament with.
Nice.
But that was, I wanted to try a deck without blue in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked all the lands from Modern Horizons 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that deck plays all of them.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the new list, the Cradle Farm build for Rograkh, I just knew I wanted to build it. It had kind of everything I was looking for, a hard to interact with focal point in the lands-based strategy, with the interaction, with the speed. So I kind of just have been enjoying the deck a lot since I picked it up.
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, Aranus Street Urchin is a super fun deck. I've played that deck myself, and I don't even think I really experienced the full power of it. But when I was playing it, it just felt like a totally different access that you were operating on when you were playing the game.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Yeah,
definitely agree.
Yeah, and it was super fun to do Hulk lines and learn how to do, Goblin lines and all that kind of stuff. And I definitely,
available.
yeah, and the deck is still thriving. I watched a lot of Kizit's videos. I'm assuming you're familiar with him. Yeah,
definitely.
And those were incredibly useful to learn the deck, like really, really great. And then I played against a player in Colorado who was playing Aranus, and I died very quickly to my own Nas, but he ended up winning that game and top 4ing the tournament. So I think his name
was great
Nameless. Yeah. So
Nameless, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, super cool deck, but Rograkh brings in kind of similar strategies. So yeah, diving into Rograkh, I initially figured out because one of my locals had found Sam Black's list that he had sort of played. And just like, I think I've said this before, but having 60 card players in the format makes this game so much better. We've seen it with Koval coming in and basically reinventing the wheel on Blue Farm, Bryant Cook basically defining Rograkh. There's a lot of other people that brewed
the
it.
Extra turns were such,
yeah, right? Like not even played before, right? Yeah. And then Sam Black comes in and he's like, oh, here's, a top 5 deck in the format that I just created. Not a thing at all. The cards have been there forever. People didn't even know what an Abora Breeze Caller was before a couple months ago. But yeah, it's super cool to have these 60 card players come in just like yourself and sort of innovate and bring their own spice to this game. But I
agree.
Yeah. And so picking up Rograkh is a blast. I love the deck a ton. And I was kind of I tried Sam's list, the Simic version, and I liked what he was doing, but there just seemed like there were some cards that were taking up space and weren't doing as much as I wanted them to. And so I pivoted to Wounded's list and I enjoyed more success there, but still the breach just never felt great. Like it never felt like natural, and you'd be drawing your LED and your brain freeze. And like, I never wanted to win with breach. It was always like, oh, once you establish infinite mana, how are you winning? And I'm like, I'll just brain freeze everyone and then, activate fairy. And so having this,
clean win.
Yeah, it's super easy, super clean. As soon as you won, I was watching the whole tournament. I didn't get to watch the entire finals game, but I watched a decent amount of it. And I would love to hear your perspective on it in a bit. But I went and looked at your list and I was like, this just feels so clean. Like everything feels like it fits where it needs to be in the list. And, having the avatar cards in your description, you said like you were kind of pivoting back to Simic with these new avatar includes.
Yeah.
Tell me about the deck. Like how new is this new iteration? Like was it kind of close to this, or were the avatar cards what made you change up the list?
So I started out playing Simic. My other good result was in a 60-person tournament that's also on Top Deck when I was playing Simic. I actually switched to Breach. Well, first I tried just Song, which I really like. I like Song.
Me too.
But it is
Broken
a little
card.
weird. It's a little non-deterministic, not always synergistic, unless you have a way of like adding mana in your engine with like Earthcraft or something,
Yeah.
you run out eventually. And
Yeah.
sure, you can like restart with Thrasios activations, but I was like, well, I just felt honestly, the card Mayhem Devil is what made me add Breach to my deck.
Nice.
Because it was just, I played against that and I was like, I can't beat this.
Yep.
So let me just.
It's exactly why I put it in the deck for the Invitational, by the way, is because I was getting beat by Rograkh Thrasios, and I was like, oh, this just completely kills the deck. Like, it's just dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know how that goes, and you can move the Breach to that, and that's what Breach offers the deck, is something totally different that gives you an out when your plan is, put in the dirt.
Yeah.
I went to the cookout and I played very close to Wounded's list, and it just wasn't my style. Basically, exactly what you were saying. We're just like drawing the combo pieces.
Yeah.
Is horrible.
Yeah.
When you see them off a Thrasios activation, they instantly go to the bottom.
Yeah.
And when you bottom any card and then flip Breach or Gamble, and you don't have any setup for it because your deck doesn't set up for it, then the whole table's like, oh, you have Breach, you have Gamble. Like, now we're just sitting here waiting for that. So to me, it really isn't synergistic with what the deck's trying to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm super happy that I recut it. I just wanted more space in the deck to be more synergistic. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what I did. People have been kind of cutting interaction in the face of like the turbo meta.
Yeah.
Whereas, in my opinion, you want more interaction.
Agreed.
Because Rograkh is not going to be the fastest deck in the format. It's often not the fastest deck at the table.
Yeah.
And you can't just like pray that they let you develop your mana for 3 turns and then allow you to take over. I mean, that's just not
realistic.
A reality.
Yeah.
I was almost off the deck after the cookout, and a lot of people, it seems like, have given up on the deck.
It does, yeah.
And the deck feels like public sentiment on the deck is at an all-time low, which is actually really good for playing the deck.
Sure.
Because there was a long time where people were just like, oh, Rograkh, got to kill the Cradle, got to kill every creature they play.
You're starting to bring in cards to actually kill Cradle, like people are putting in Wastelands and stuff like that.
Yeah. People playing Wasteland overstrip mine too. But it's a good time for Rograkh right now because I mean the turbo decks, they don't interact with your permanents at all.
Yep.
And the mid range decks have cut Mayhem Devil, Amphibian Downpour. Just I don't know. It was very rare that anything got spot removed besides my Cradle this past weekend. It was just I was allowed to execute my plan. That's how you are successful.
Right. Yeah. cEDH is a lot about dodging interaction because, like, if I cast a spell and someone uses a counter spell, we both go down a card while the other 2 players at the table stay exactly where they're at and basically gain kind of an advantage there. And so that's why politics seems to be such a big part of the game, is because you get to say, hey, don't do this, like minimize your threat profile so that you can come out of that unharmed. And both of you get to keep the interaction / the card you're casting. So in sort of this Rograkh plan, how do you stop the turbo decks? Like, did you experience that there was a lot of turbo in all of your Swiss games or semis games? And how did you deal with it?
So I played in like the warm-up tournament on Friday and I played 3 rounds. I went first every round and I lost on turn 2 the first 2 games.
Jeez.
And then like lost to like a 6 start from Sisse in the 3rd game. So 0-3 the night before.
Yeah, great feeling going into the event.
I ended up cutting Vexing Bauble and Louis Suarez Sacrifice the night before.
Interesting.
For Clever Impersonator and Gene Pollinator. Definitely was like coping with the Clever Impersonator. That card should not be in the deck.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
We can talk about what I would play over it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Later. But yeah, I just thought that Vexing Bauble just wasn't really it.
Yeah.
What I was losing to, didn't care about Vexing Bauble. I mean, I thought of it as like, oh, it's kind of like a stacks piece that can kind of protect your win, but it's another card that's just not in line with the rest of your strategy. And the best decks in cEDH have a very cohesive strategy.
Agreed.
Getting closer to that with my build was the goal. You have the Badger Mole, which is such an amazing card in the deck and just in Magic.
Yeah.
It's kind of an insane card that they printed. I mean, the Cabbage Merchant's one thing. That's just a good card that's in the deck. But
generically good.
Badger Mole is a card that's actually worth building around. It's a card that's worth tutoring for. That was kind of the basis for why I took my build the direction I did.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was not a Badgermole believer until I retooled my Rograkh Thrasios list, because I'm really not the biggest brewer. I don't think that's one of my best strong suits in this game. Like, I like tuning a bit. And so taking your list and trying it, I was like, oh, this is just nets you a mana immediately. Like, the land gets haste, it taps for 2 mana. You know, this is like a mana neutral card, which is insane.
Right.
You know, and then you introduce, like, in your deck, you have Enduring Vitality and Cryptolith, right? And so these effects seem to come up very often. Going off of like your Relic of Legends, I think makes a lot of sense, and kind of opting into something that's a little bit more widespread instead of just like focused on a little more of what I would say is like a turbo-y card like Relic.
Right. I love Relic, but it actually just doesn't work with Badgermole.
Yeah, exactly.
Relic is amazing for recasting your commanders or just casting your commanders. It just works really nicely. Plus, it's an independent mana rock, but I mean, it's great with Wan Chitong.
Yeah.
But I felt like I couldn't play Relic and Cryptolith.
Yeah, I think once you introduce too many layers of like consistency, it becomes like, oh, I already have this effect on board and I'm drawing it with Thrasios and it's a dead card in my hand, right? And so minimizing that while still maintaining the ability to like have those cards that do what you need them to do is important. It's interesting too that after this tournament where you got turboed out, you actually cut interaction for more mid-range cards.
Well, I see Gene Pollinator as actually a means of speeding up the deck.
Gotcha.
And Louis Suarez is like the worst piece
Yep.
of interaction because you have to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, it was wrong to put the Clever Impersonator in. I mean, I would play the Louis Suarez over it. I would play Dramatic Reversal over it. Mm-hmm. You know, Ice Tail Explorer. That's a card I love. But
I love Ice Tail Explorer. I
also just tried to trim down the 4-drops in the deck.
Yeah.
So it's just Micro Spawn and Seaborn, you know, no Kitten, no Ice Tail, no Druid of Purification, which is a card over the summer, which was just like a great card to have access to, but it's just not. I just feel like you want your creatures to be efficient and help with your setup. You don't want your creatures to be like the end goal of your engine.
Yeah. It smooths out opening hands a lot too. Where it's
that's
a way more playable hand. Yeah. Yeah, cutting Kitten was an interesting one. I feel like Kitten is so strong, but also such a scary card for your opponents to see that it's like, oh, I immediately get focused. And I feel like Rograkh Thrasios is trying to really walk the line between becoming the best board state at the table and winning the game. And so you want to be under the radar as long as you can be until you're ready to press the button and go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Just want to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so next, why don't we dive into some Mulligan philosophy? And at some point, I'd love to kind of go through the deck a little bit, look at a couple cards, and maybe do some hands with you so that people can see like what hands you're prioritizing, especially in specific pods.
Sure, we can do that. I mean, I can give a quick overview. Many people have said this in various videos, whatever, write-ups. I mean, Rograkh Thrasios deck's all about mana. You want your opening hand to develop its mana. Luckily, there's a lot of ways to do that. You're not actually reliant on Cradle to have a good mana opening. So, I mean, whether it's mana rocks or dorks into a Badgermole or a Kinnan, or like Enduring Vitality with just Spring Heart, you know, there's a lot of avenues to mana, but it is a necessity in your starting hand, unless you're mulling really low and your only choice is to like keep interaction or something. Yeah. And then a lot after that is pod dependent. I mean, from playing Rogsai, you need like mana and then you need like action. So it's nice to have action if you can. I mean, you do have more action in the command zone than that deck. Yeah, something like either a creature tutor to get your Biomancers familiar. Obviously, a draw engine is ideal. Mystic Heuristic, or even just like a clone in certain matchups can do that job. But if you really have nowhere to go with your mana, Thrasios isn't enough. Like the games where you're just activating Thrasios, you're not actually executing your plan because it's inefficient even in a deck that creates this much mana.
And maybe as a slight like addendum to that, when you say activating Thrasios, this is without effects that reduce activation costs, or
right, full cost.
Okay. So it's mana plus, a payoff of some sort, either in a draw engine or in a way to discount Thrasios activations or get like a Seedborn on board, something like that, that's going to make the plan as synergistic as possible, right?
And sometimes that payoff in the faster pods is actually counter spells because time is really what you need, in that kind of scenario.
Gotcha. So you would see like a hand that's mana plus counter spells is pretty keepable in most of these pods since they're so turbo focused.
Yeah, in the fast pods.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And you're kind of talking about noting like having access to something like a Breeze Caller in the turbo meta is much more appealing than it would be in the mid-range meta because that's a card that might allow you to race some of these decks. And even including cards like Lotus Cobra makes that effect even better.
Yeah, so one of the things, so in the mid-range meta, which is where most of my earlier experience with the deck was, like Breeze Caller would just be like the card I put on the bottom, just because I'm not going for this anytime soon. But over time, I think now you kind of just want it. Badger Mole is a +3 on your Cradle.
Yeah.
So that just gives you like another explosive creature. Like you don't need Shatterstorm. And it's really powerful to cast a Borrow from your hand and not have to cast, Finale for 2 because when you have the setup.
Sure.
If
just
you're
it's harder to counter
play a creature spell.
Yeah.
2 mana, do something about it.
Yeah.
You can push that button
a lot easier.
Safer.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Talk to me about how you're assessing your role at the table.
So you're pretty much just slower than any fast deck. Any kind of turbo deck. My build is like faster than classic Rograkh. That's another thing about cutting breach. You actually are a faster deck. You have less inevitability, but you have more of these pieces that give you that early mana push, and you have a more synergistic hand. If you have a Brain Freeze rotting in your hand, that's one less piece that actually contributes to your main game plan.
Sure.
So build is leaner, it's a little faster, and you're giving up something like Kitten or Song or Breach lines to have that leanness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you are still a mid-range deck, certainly. So you kind of you want to sit in a place where you can interact, or if you have no interaction, you have the draw engine, and you just look for your window because you can't create a window. You don't have uncounterable Grand Abolisher in that way, but you do have good access to flash.
Yeah. I think it's the best flash speed deck in the meta.
Yeah.
Maybe Kinnan is there, but yeah.
They're similar, especially this build.
Yeah.
Where, you leaving up all your mana isn't suspicious.
Everyone's just expecting Thrasios activations, and not necessarily like a Flood Color or a Born or an E-Zone or whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's the hidden power of Treasure too, is that, not that my deck has any access to Treasure, but it's the fact that if you don't use it, it's not like, oh, they're gearing up for something.
Sure.
It's just like, it's a one-use thing, so if you don't crack it, it doesn't like ring the alarm bells,
Yep. You can just sit on a Tithe or a Facebreaker or a Lotho and look pretty unassuming. Kind of like what I was talking last week with Max about, which is sort of the invisible advantage where people almost just overlook it. As it's like Tatar is a great example of this, especially when they're tap treasures. People don't even see them until it's your turn. And they're like, oh, you have 4 mana. Boom, just like that.
Yeah, you get some of that with the Cabbage Merchant too, where it's just like you tap them and then they're kind of forgotten, and then it's like, oh, I tap and now I have 10.
Yeah, talk about an instant staple in cEDH.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I could not see
Green's been
getting a lot,
maybe hurting a little bit, but
not recently.
This was a good set for Green.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. And so without the access to these, Cavern into Grand Abolisher or Ranger Captain of Eos or Silence or Orm's Chant, how do you create your windows? Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're going to time with this deck. Like eventually you do have to win the game. So how do you create windows? What are the cards or mindsets that you have around that?
I think you want to look for a space in the game where things appear to be at parity. You don't want to have that overbearing advantage. You don't want to play in a 3v1 situation. Your pieces they're vulnerable, and the power of Rograkh over something like Kinnan, I would say, is that you don't actually have like a fundamental spell a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like you can and we'll talk about the finals game, but
yeah.
I just kind of keep adding somewhat threatening things to the stack that just demand conversation, interaction, and it's just it's like a death of 1,000 cuts in a way, whereas there's no Underworld Breach, there's no Grand Abolisher. Now they're trying to win for sure. So if you can sneak the flash, whether it be Born, or Valley Floodcaller, or I mean Valley Floodcaller in this deck is just like I'm just trying to get a creature in play.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
It's so
like,
unassuming in Rograkh. It's crazy. It's like, yeah, this is just good. Like, it's, it's going to untap when I cast my non-creature spells with my Enduring Vitality, but I'm not winning.
So if you can like get that to resolve, then you're really able to kind of play your game.
Sure.
You're able to force the table into your game.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. And yeah, I like it's super interesting. I actually, as a follow-up question, like, how are you staying under the radar? Is that kind of the plan with the deck right now, is to be very unassuming and kind of play the Rograkh, like, I'm not a threat game? And how do you go about that?
You're just under the radar in the meta right now.
Okay.
People are Rograkh haters at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
And, I was aware of that, and I was like, I don't want to have powerful cards in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to flip a breach. I don't want people to think I'm the threat.
Sure.
I just want to slide.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. We talked a bit about kind of cutting this red package, and you mentioned like at Cookout that it had just not worked for you and it had felt kind of awkward and it had almost made you stop playing the deck.
Sure.
And you talked a little bit about this, but like having this experience more in the Simic realm led you to cut these red cards. And I'd love to know, like, again, did the decision from Cookout make you want to cut them? And what did you gain by sort of dropping these red cards?
I think I just wanted a lot of cards and needed the slots more than anything.
Okay.
And just through the process of adding these cards to my deck, I ended up trimming it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tried out the newest Sam Black build, which is like the Breach version with no LED. It's graveyard focused, but I didn't feel like I had enough experience with that build to like try to play it in a tournament this large.
Totally agree.
I just kind of was like, well, Badgermole's really good, so I'm definitely going to put back in Halfling, and I want to play Gene Pollinator, and I definitely want to play Cryptolith Right, and I also want to play minimum counter spells, and I want just things to be more cohesive. I just, if you're playing in a large event, if you're playing at a high level, consistency is massive. I mean, we're playing the least consistent format in all of Magic, and the best decks are the most consistent, the most synergistic.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of decided that this is where I wanted to go with the build, based on adding the new cards, based on all the cards that I felt like I needed in my deck to compete in this faster meta, and just not worry about what happens in those super deep games because they happen less and people aren't playing the cards for those games anyway.
Yeah.
And you're already kind of naturally good there.
Yeah, right. You're a great mid-range deck if it gets down to that level. And you can operate at Flash.
People aren't blowing up your spot.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No Bowmasters, please. Yeah. And kind of the interesting thing about consistency is tutors are a huge part of that in our format. And that's why decks like Blue Farm have, insane amounts of consistency, is because we get access to so many. We get the whole tutor suite. Like, all the 1-mana tutors are good. All the 2-mana black tutors are phenomenal. They lead to wins really easily. Rograkh does not get access to as many tutors in the literal sense, or in like the common sense, where it's like, oh, I can't enlighten tutor for my Rhystic Study. But we do get so many creature tutors. And I think part of Rograkh that's interesting is kind of, in Blue Farm, there's a relatively easy flow chart where it's like, am I going turbo? Am I going mid-range? And the cards in your hand help you decide which path to go down and what tutors you want to use in-game to get to that route. In Rograkh, this seems like it might be a little tougher, but you still have the creature tutors to sort of pick out where you want to go in the game. So when you're playing Rograkh and adding to the consistency of it, do you have sort of a main game plan? And I know this can be super like different in every game you play in every pod, but is it mana into making sure I don't lose with interaction, into, like, for me, it's a Biomancer. Like, that's one of my favorite first cards to tutor, to reduce those Thrasios activations. What are your tutors looking like in the early and mid game?
Definitely Biomancers is an early tutor target. Badgermole is actually a really good tutor target. I mean, sometimes a clone. Like, I added Gilded Drake back to the deck because it can actually help a lot into fast pods. If you are just going to die to Rowan, Gilded Drake will answer that.
Ral, same thing.
And people are copying it less. That was why I cut it originally, was that it's just like, you Gilded Drake, someone copies it, steals your Thrasios, and you're like,
fuck.
Why?
Yeah.
So why did I do this to myself? But and then it's also just good against Bowmaster. I mean, your deck's pretty good against Bowmaster overall. But I would say you're generally looking to go for Biomancer's Familiar. Enduring Vitality is a great target in a lot of situations. Usually not Seedborn. I mean, there's really not that many different cards in your deck that are worth tutoring for. So, I mean, at times canon, but I would say Biomancers is the main one. Obviously, Cloud of Fairies is a good one.
The blue dock side, getting access to that is amazing.
Just getting it into play can be very strong.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the avatar cards, but why don't we go into a little more depth? Like, basically from what we've talked about so far, having this more Simic build and also looking to shave down the curve a bit without the Kitten, Ring, Druid, Ice Till, etc., helps you focus on a little more synergistic and a little more low to the ground lines. So give me more info about the avatar cards, how they played, and sort of how you prioritize them in your game plan.
So I played more one-drop acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
I put Utopia Sprawl in my deck, even though it's not a good card. But being able to play a dork on one, effective dork, and then play an untapped land with a Badger Mole, or play Lotus Cobra into a land, and then go from there. Like, you get that good little jump of mana.
Yeah.
With that was kind of the theory there. There's also a new Aboro line with Badger Mole. I'm going to try to explain it. It's easiest with Mockingbird.
Here, let me jump into the pod simulator, and you can walk me through it as I look up the cards.
Okay, so Badger Mole, Breeze Color.
Okay.
We'll do Trop. You have the Mockingbird in your hand. And then the last piece can be one of many cards. Okay. So let's do Wild Growth, because everyone plays that.
Yep. Do you want to just start here?
What you do... Yeah, this is fine. Your hand doesn't matter. You have the Wild Growth on the Trop. You have the Badger Mole animating the Trop.
I have no idea how to do this on Moxfield.
Just add a counter.
Add a counter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
So now the Trop taps for 3. So we'll just assume you have the Aboro in play already.
Okay, sure.
So you can tap the Tropical Island for a blue and 2 green. You cast the Mockingbird where X is 0, copying the Trop. And because when you copy something, it copies its natural state, it's not a creature.
Cool.
So it doesn't have summoning sickness. So you tap the Mockingbird for blue. You use the 2 green to pick up the Mockingbird and untap the Trop.
Oh,
and now you make 2 green and a blue, because the Mockingbird pays for itself.
Oh, cool. Yeah, use it to recast. You net infinite green mana through this loop, and then you can start filtering the green.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's infinite blue, because you can...
You make a blue, and the Mockingbird makes a blue.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Wow, sweet.
And then this combo also works with the other 2 mana clones if you have another piece, whether it be a Cobra, a Utopia Sprawl. If you have Biomancer's Familiar or Training Grounds, that also works. Instead of Wild Growth, you can have Cobra or Training Grounds. I didn't actually use this combo. I did explain it to my opponents to coerce a concession.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is a new combo in the deck that is Cradle Agnostic that I was really interested in leaning into, which is one of the reasons I'm playing Lotus Cobra.
Did you come up with this on your own?
No, this is all credits to the Rograkh Discord.
Nice. What a great Discord, by the way. Like, one of the best deck-specific Discords I've ever been a part of, even though I don't spend too much time there.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, sweet. That's super, super cool. Okay, so...
And that just made me feel better about leaning into the main plan, to where if my Cradle gets... Also, if you second Badger Mole, that's another piece you can have instead of the Wild Growth or something.
Gotcha.
And Badger Mole's a great thing to copy in certain game states.
Because it's tripling.
Yeah, because you can also actually do the Ewit Snap loop with 2 Badger Moles. If you want, I don't know if you want to bring back up the...
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm sure most people are familiar with Ewit Snap Cradle being one of the basic combos in the deck. So if you have Badger Mole and you don't need the Wild Growth with your Boro, you just need another land.
So we have our
copy of Badger Mole.
Copy of Badger Mole, a Mockingbird.
And both lands are animated.
Okay.
So they each tap. Each tap for 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you have the Ewit, or you cast the Ewit, get back the snap.
So we're snapping something, untapping our 2 lands. 1, 2, 3. Ewit, hit back our snap. And this is netting us...
You get 6, and
6
it costs 5.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we're going 1 mana positive each time with the double Badger Moles.
Yeah, as long as you're animated 2 different lands.
So cool. Okay, very cool. So you have a lot more, like, ability to just win the game right out of nowhere.
Without Cradle.
Yeah, without Cradle, too.
Which is massive.
Yeah, that's sick. Any other fun lines you want to do while we're here?
These are the main ones I had in mind. I mean, one of the scary things about playing without Breach is that if your Cradle gets exiled, you can't combo. That's why, up to this point, I included Kitten, Lotus Petal, Gutshot.
Yep.
just as like an out.
Yeah.
Or Ewit also. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just as an out to your Cradle dying. But
Is the gut shot, like, once you establish infinite mana, how are you, like, at instant speed, how are you explaining to your opponents that you're going to win? Is it with gut shot?
yeah,
Okay.
if you listen to the finals, I explained the loop of just you bestow onto Ewit, you have infinite landfall with a Boro, and every Ewit copy gets back gut shot.
Very cool.
I mean, you can win with Fairy Mastermind Green Zenith if you want.
It just takes a little
way
longer.
Riskier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not playing Endurance. I don't have like those kind of loops available. So yeah, but Gutshot Ewit,
just the cleanest line that you can go through.
Wins at instant speed.
Gotcha.
And Gutshot's good, I promise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I would say probably your biggest speed bump in this deck is right now probably a Bowmaster, right? Like, that's probably the one card that really just fucks you more than anything else. Yeah. So having more options to kill it, in addition to all the clones you're already running, seems like a great option.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's worth the include. It's nice to not have to play sole combo pieces. It's another thing about Breach in the deck is that it's just so disparate from your plan.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Like, and as you said, with what makes Blue Farm so consistent is like the massive amount of tutors. You don't have access to that. You have to create your consistency by just actually playing a synergistic deck.
Right. More cards that do similar things.
I mean, Blue Farm is really synergistic. People like don't understand how. And the better Blue Farm pilots you play against, the more synergistic the deck looks.
Agreed.
Where, you know, a single Viseju or Ottawa or Silencer, I mean, it can win through everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It feels like, it also feels like it has no bad matchups. Like, there are things that are harder to deal with, but there's never matchups where I'm like, oh, I just lose. You know, like, I'm not going to be able to win this game. This is at best a draw, or if I'm in a top 16, like a super uphill battle.
Well, hearing you say that Rograkh Thrasios was a tough matchup was encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, it was the sole, not the sole reason, but like I would say at least 50 to 60% of why I put Mayhem Devil in for the NV was I was like, this deck is, because I played against Wounded at a top 16, and it was a double Rograkh Thrasios pod with him and Timogen, and they're both, you know, really phenomenal pilots, and I was just like, fuck, this sucks, like I hate it, you know, and I want an option that's just going to stop them. But Rograkh Thrasios, Kinnan, Sisay, Magda, all these creature-based decks just kind of auto-lose to a well-placed Mayhem Devil. It's not always the case. Like, you don't always have treasures. There's not always ways to do it. But with Farm being such a treasure-heavy build, fetch lands, obviously, all the sacrifice effects, like, it does just put in so much inevitable work on these decks that are difficult to deal with in Blue Farm.
Definitely. Scary card.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not cutting it. Everyone else is cutting it. I'm not going to cut it. So these cards, like having the Badger Mole is amazing. Having these new lines with Breeze Caller available is awesome. Cabbage Merchant, just like an instant staple in green.
Yeah, I had maybe my new favorite 5-card hand of all time.
Yeah.
In the top 16 match. I was seed 3, which I was just ecstatic to be seed 3 with 17 points.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
It was Emergence Zone, Soul Ring, Elvish Spirit Guide, Cabbage Merchant, and Force of Will.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Just turn 1 Cabbage Merchant with 3 mana in play. I did hard cast that Force of Will.
Later in the game.
I did. Yeah, and I won also. So
yeah, it's a fucking sick hand. I thought it had, because you had an early Ristic study, didn't you, in that game?
This is the top 16 game.
Oh, okay, top 16 game. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, there was no Cabbage in top 4. I don't think...
but if there was.
Yeah, with all the stack wars that were going on in that game, holy crap.
Whoever had it would have won.
Yeah.
100%.
New Smothering Tithe.
Definitely a strong card. It also feels, it's really the Blue Farm experience because everyone starts attacking you.
Yeah. You're like, I promise, I don't even play the One Ring.
Yeah, but it's just like, they're like, oh, got to get that cabbage value.
Right.
Who cares that Grog size at 38?
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God. Also, I was curious, I've yet to, actually I think I played like one Wan Shitong, but did that come up throughout the tournament at all?
Not really, honestly. Okay. I cast it a couple times. It didn't show up early. I played it. It's basically kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none situation where it's a flash creature, it's a bird.
Yeah.
It's for Valley Flood Caller. It's a blue non-token for Flare. It's legendary if you want to play Relic or Louis Suaz. And it's also something to do with your mana. If you don't have access to Thrasios. Similar to Kinnan in that way, where it's kind of a backup if you get draked, or this one specifically, Curse Totem, you could draw 5 if your Cradle's going off.
Yeah,
so
at instant
I
speed
just
with
think
a creature. Yeah.
fills a lot of roles, has a pretty high floor. And the only problem is that double blue is actually pretty hard. The secret about Rograkh is that the mana is really bad, even in the Simic build. It's another reason I dislike Clever Impersonator.
Yeah.
Because just blue mana, I mean, you can even see in the finals game that blue mana is the choke
It's a bit
lot
of a
of the time.
premium. Probably why having all these cards, like you're, an Earthcraft with an island at play, or, your Enduring Vitality, or your Cryptolith, right, really changes the game pretty radically.
Yeah, I mean, Earthcraft is like maybe the best card in the deck, but you only see it when it wants to be seen. You have no way of tutoring it.
Cannot tutor it. I know. Yeah.
I don't think I had a single Earthcraft game this tournament.
Yeah, that's brutal. It's such a good card. I just love my Earthcraft Floodcaller games. Like, they feel like the deck is broken, Yeah.
Definitely. Then you copy the Floodcaller and you're just like, can't lose.
Yeah. Anything else about like the deck specifically? Maybe let's just do a quick run through of it and kind of see if we're missing.
Yeah, we can look at some hands.
Yeah, let's do that.
We can also just look at the deck and talk about anything that pops up to you as someone who has some experience with Rograkh, but not maybe this particular take.
Yeah, absolutely. So
now that we're here, I would cut Clever Impersonator for Yavimaya, is what I think.
An extra land.
I would play one more land.
29. Really?
I was thinking about playing Flooded Grove.
Yep.
But then I was like, well, if I was playing Flooded Grove, I would really want Ice Till, which is another card that I would also play over Clever Impersonator.
Sure.
But I think you just don't want 4 mana creatures in your deck.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, limiting the amount of like high value spells. Seedborn seems to be an exception just because of how good it is. Like, it really feels like once you land a Seedborn, you are then, it's almost like winning the game because you get instant focused. It's just about like, can I survive the turn cycle? If I do, I win.
Seedborn can also be a defensive measure in pods where the game is moving very quickly, and like you're able to, like you say, you have like a Mana Vault, and you're able to like get out Seedborn with Thrasios, then you like, even if your hand had no interaction, like you're able to kind of have a shot.
Piece some things together.
Sometimes it feels like even if you only get one activation a turn, like it's still, you might not be winning the game with it, but it can be good in low mulligan situations too.
Yeah. One thing we can do too is just compare to like a more traditional list. So you said you went up on interaction, but when I was looking at the list, I felt like there was actually less interaction in the deck. Like there's no Flare, there's no Louis Swaz, obviously. I think you're still on Swan Song, or you're not on Swan Song?
I am on Swan Song. I would say compared to maybe what Sam Black had been doing recently.
Okay.
And I also don't actually consider Flare to be good interaction.
Yeah, it's similar to Louis Swaz, where it's like, that's a pretty high cost.
Yeah, it opens you up to blowouts, which I dislike. You always sack Rog to it. Sometimes it has like a little bit of the opposition agent thing where you're like, okay, I have to recast Rog on the off chance that something comes up I want to flare because I'm not playing red mana.
Yeah.
So it just was feeling clunky. I mean, most of the cards I cut, they were feeling clunky.
That makes
Level
sense.
and Rumble is a card I love. But it just doesn't feel like it's doing enough.
Especially off the Breach version, no Ice Till stuff, yeah.
Hidden Strings just seemed like it made more sense in that slot.
Yeah, so much mana from this card. One card that has been kind of hit or miss for me is Magus of the Candelabra. I think the effect is obviously broken, but having to wait a turn cycle and sometimes having it in an opening hand without a Cradle can feel like a nothing card, and it almost feels like some wasted development. Did that come up for you at all? Like any experience with this card in particular?
It's always performed well for me. There are sometimes times where it's not good, but all it takes is an Ancient Tomb or a Wild Growth, and it's still a mana dork.
Yeah.
It's also really good with Training Grounds.
Yeah, totally.
And just having 1 green mana creatures in your deck is actually pretty good. Because when you running Tidaboro lines in your main phase, being able to go up on creature count for a low cost can sometimes be the difference maker.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just, looking at the list, like all of these cards are so playable all the time. And then you go down here and you're like, well, this is not great most of the time. This is okay. Like, it's great to have an unconditional tutor, but it just, I felt like Gamble rotted in my hand a lot. in the deck.
You also go low on cards
Yeah.
before you go high on cards
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, yeah, it's like, what am I gambling for?
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
Earthcraft.
All of these cards are just, yeah, right. My Earthcraft tutor is going to discard it. Yeah. Okay, sweet. That's
Also,
good.
while we're here, not playing Gemstone to me is just not allowed,
Yeah, I think it's in every
in my
cEDH
opinion.
deck. I don't.
But
I think it's just good enough, right? Especially in this deck, which is so lands reliant. Like having just one extra land for an Aboro line that's non-deterministic can be a difference maker.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's massive.
A lot of this stuff is classic Rograkh Thras. I think just like Sylvie did, like a big reason why she won, it felt like was because she slimmed down the deck, made it much more streamlined, much more consistent. And that's what I'm seeing here. Like having more of these 1-mana dorks, having more mana options in the deck made it a lot better. Having a piece of, I guess you could call it removal, like sorcery speed removal in Gilded Drake's amazing.
It's also cheap when you have to tutor for it. When you have to use invasion or
Cord for an instant speed Drake.
or core, yeah.
Yeah.
It's whereas if you play like Druid of Purification is just it's an expensive Nature's Rhythm.
Yeah. Hidden Strings, I keep seeing it pop up more and more in Kinnan and Rograkh Thras, and it's like this card just seems amazing. Like it's phenomenal.
I believe in it. I actually have just not had a game with it
Okay,
yet,
gotcha.
but I definitely believe in it.
Yeah, I do too. Especially in a Cradle deck. Like this is probably the best, even better than Kinnan. To have this card in here.
And you're able to connect with the creature more often right now.
Yeah.
When you cipher it. Something I want to note is I was playing High Fate Trickster.
Yeah.
Not instead of Born. At the cookout, and someone bounced it, and I was like, never again.
Yeah. I'll just take my all the time flash. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing about going up to 29 lands is that Otawara and Besage are actually good in your deck because you have 2 very cheap legendary creatures.
Yeah.
And Dryad Arbor is not always a land. And opening hands with Shifting Woodland and Mistrise Village feel really bad.
Yeah.
Hedge Maze, I think, is actually just great.
Okay.
I think it's worth playing.
Cool. You find that
even in the 3-color builds.
Yeah. What about it specifically? Just having a little more card selection is worth it?
Yeah, it's also like really nice when someone blows up your cradle with Beseiju to get Hedge Maze and like go 1 card deeper towards something.
Get a free piece of card advantage.
I mean, you're also just a deck with a lot of mana. You have a spare fetch land a lot.
Yeah, I find usually in my spare fetch lands, like I'm trying to consolidate green sources so that I can get my Dryad Arbor online more often. But that's not always the case.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you want the blue, but
yeah.
Or sometimes Dryad Arbor just isn't safe.
See, any other standouts? Any other standouts for you? Like from this list, I know this town is kind of an interesting Rograkh Thras only card. You don't see this in any other decks.
Yeah, it's on the edge for me.
Yeah,
because as cool as the Ewit Candelabra line is, it's just like you can't spell Seeker for this.
No.
I mean, it's just like good enough interaction. It's good to bounce 2 things when you have that luxury. It can pick up your untappers. It's just like it's good enough.
Yeah.
And it does count as interaction. So I think it's fine in its modality.
Yeah.
Noxious Revival is a card that I'm iffy on. I ended up feeling like I needed it, cutting Ice Till, just to have something else that could return my cradle.
Yep, not just an Ewit.
But not just Ewit.
Yeah. I also see Noxious as actually like a very modal piece of interaction, having access to a second counterspell, especially a very impactful, like a Flusterstorm, where it's like, oh, I'll cast my Fluster, you can Fluster that, that's fine. Then I'll respond with a Noxious, activate Thrasios, or hold priority to Rhystic Study trigger, get my Fluster back. Right. Like, that's just...
Yeah, in those deep water games, it's basically another counterspell.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Lotus Cobra just seems like a slam dunk in the deck too.
Yeah, as long as people keep cutting Bowmaster from their deck. So to me that is the same slot as Wall of Roots as a 2-mana mana creature that doesn't overlap with Enduring. But it's more explosive. And it has that similar feeling of shaving a mana off Thras activations at times.
Right. Yeah. You're okay just getting lands with Thrasios just to keep ramping.
Because say you have like 7 mana. If you hit a land off the first Thrasios, you get a new activation.
Yeah, right. Or if I have a situation where I get the double Biomancers, I can just get free Thrasios activations.
Yeah, yeah.
So good.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's
haven't lived that dream yet, but it's not that card isn't going anywhere. I think it's
my like epitome of like Rograkh Thrasios was in a finals pod in a tournament I'd won with this deck, the one like bigger like gold event, and I was in the finals and I got to a state where I'd promised I would not win. And I went to my turn, I had a Biomancers already, I had like 5 or 6 creatures, and I cloned my Biomancers and I played an Abora Breezecaller, and I had a Cradle in play. And I was just like, you know, this is fine, like, I'll pass turn. The blue farm player necros for 30, they see their necro cards, and the first spell they cast, there's like 3 Rhystic Studies in play. Just like, I'll just activate Thrasios for 1 mana. And they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna cast a Bowmasters. And I'm like, all right, I'll just activate Thrasios for 1 mana. And it's just like, you just can't bury everything when you have a setup that lets you just do your 1 mana Thrasios or 1 mana Oboro activations count as counterspells, or better than counterspells, right? Because it just buries the cards and they're never going to get seen again.
Yeah.
All right, any other cards that you wanted to highlight? Kinnon's one that's a little bit newer, you know, like just having doubling ability for these enduring effects.
Yeah, leaning more into the synergy with Badger Mole automatically. I mean, I've always liked Kinnon in the deck, just in case your Thrasios gets stolen, you can do something with your mana.
Sure.
But yeah, I think just the way it overlaps with what you're doing with the rest of things makes a lot of sense. You know, I know a lot of people don't play Crippleth right. I've always played Crippleth right.
Nice.
And it's definitely good with that.
Yeah. Just another effect that lets me make more mana. Okay, sweet. Let's
it's obviously good with the rocks, you know?
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to shout out the sponsor for today's video. Doot Loot is the best place to get rare Japanese, Russian foils, signed and altered cards. They have a huge growing community with over 2,000 members on Discord that you can join right now. They do monthly giveaways and they even do giveaways on our channel. So make sure to go support Doot. I have a huge collection of Japanese and Russian foils and he's always the first place I go. Secondly, I want to shout out Mana Vault Proxies. They're a US-based proxy company and they help make this game more affordable so that you can play based on your skill level and not just the size of your wallet. I would not be playing this game if it weren't for proxies, so I love what Mana Vault is doing. They're even offering 5% off if you use the code SNACK at checkout. Without further ado, keep enjoying the video. So one tool, I don't know if you've heard of this before, it's called Eldrazi Dev.
Does this give you a pod?
Yes, this gives you a pod. And I think they also have a playtest feature integrated, so we can kind of see a playtest here. So let's walk through just a couple mulligans in pod composition. Let's remix this one because there's double VVs. Double farms. Let me just get one where there's no 2.
Okay, that's realistic.
Yeah, this is like a very realistic pod comp. I hate this pod comp.
But
yeah. True.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're seed 4. I'm probably just looking for a draw engine mostly.
Okay.
And this hand isn't good enough without one. Let's see what we could do. We could play Rograkh Thrasios, but we don't have a second land.
Yep.
So Springheart is just rotting in our hand. So Microspawn is like an eternity away.
Yeah.
Sure, we can survive with Fierce, maybe.
Right.
I mean, you could also, in this hand, do one of my favorite plays, which is just Invasion for 0.
Yep.
Just to like have another mana source, but you're just trading the Spirit Guide for a Dryad Arbor. And I mean, this hand just isn't it.
Yeah, too slow. Totally agree. No lands.
This hand is so close.
Would you keep this if like let's say your Kinnon is a trop? You'd keep it? Okay. And
if it was a forest, I would keep it.
Your play pattern is Springleaf into Fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have Rograkh in play for SWAT.
Totally. Yeah.
Like that's the other thing, you know, no one can answer your Fish because you have SWAT.
Yep. Yeah, it just feels so good.
This hand is actually insane.
Yeah.
In any pod, anytime. Yeah. If Kinnon is a forest.
Yeah.
This hand is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, your blue mana is a little bit taxed, but
sure,
you're gonna get there with Fish. It's just how it goes.
Do we draw the land? No. Okay, great. Let's
get
go
on
6.
Second 7 at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
If this is 6 in that pod, I'd probably just mulligan.
Yeah. This is you cannot stop anyone. Your plan is shit. A Beseiju is going to be the only thing holding this together, and these decks are not really going to fold to Beseiju most of the time, especially very early. So yeah, let's go to 5.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, too slow.
I mean, yeah. This also Cryptolith and Earthcraft are like not good together at all. I mean, if this hand had Cradle in it instead of Hedge Maze, like I might consider keeping. I guess it's a 5-card hand, so you put the Cryptolith on the bottom.
Totally, yeah.
But yeah, generally, I mean, you just don't have enough action.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on 5, you're seat 4. You might just be like, oh, I got Earthcraft.
Hope I get there. Hope I don't lose. Yeah.
I'd rather go to 4 though.
Yeah, and have some sort of agency.
And have this hand also bad, but
yeah,
that hand was 5 lands. This hand's no lands.
Yeah,
this is the story of cEDH.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, whereas if any of these cards is a land, it's totally fine hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think a 3 is.
I mean,
you can just try to force the draw, but it's just so bad. Yeah. Okay, let's.
I have been noticing that people seem to be trying to force the draw.
Oh yeah.
In situations that it makes 0 sense.
I totally agree with you. It's
like
we learned, like, forcing draws was not always a thing, but then everyone learned about it and they're like, oh, it's like the safe option. Like, you're like, oh wait, I didn't lose the game, like I got a point. But you can't play to not lose. Like, the whole point of cEDH is you got to play to win, especially in these big tournaments. 17 points. Yeah. How many rounds of Swiss was there?
7,
right? So 17 points in 7 rounds of Swiss is not an easy thing to accomplish. Yeah. So like, taking draws is not a great option.
Yeah, I started 0-3 at the cookout.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel good
to
be in that situation. I mean, people were like, round 3, someone was like, y'all just want to draw? We're all 5 points. And it's like,
no.
You don't want to win. You don't want to have to win tomorrow. That's just not, it's not a good situation.
Yeah.
So
that was
day 2 is not the goal.
Yeah, the situation I was in just the recent fishbowl was like, I just felt like I played really, like, not great day 1, and I ended up with, like, I think 7 or 8 points. I think it was 8 points. And so I was in day 2, and I was like, all right, I have 2 rounds. I have to win both these games if I top 16. And luckily I did, but I don't want to put myself in that spot ever.
Right.
Yeah.
This hand I would keep.
Out of 3?
Yeah, just basically any time.
Yeah.
Even though you don't have interaction, you have turn 1 Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, and you can play Rograkh here or not. It's kind of, I'd say nowadays you can just play the Rograkh. I used to be way less willing to play it out if I didn't have a reason.
Yeah.
And then, turn 2, you can play the Cradle, play the Magus, play the Badger Mole.
Yeah, and just kind of go off from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Even in that pod, this makes sense. I mean, at 3, you'd still keep.
Yeah.
But in that pod, you just keep land, Spirit Guide, Sylvan Scrying, and just be like, I'm getting my Cradle.
Yep. I have one plan. Got one plan and one plan only.
Yeah, and if you're seat 4 in this, with this situation, you're just like, I'm just playing greedy. Like,
yeah.
Blue Farm, you worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, this hand actually explodes with mana, so.
Right. Y'all are going to lose to Ral. Yeah. All right, let's do one more pod. All right, this is a little very different pod composition, right?
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I could definitely see this being more of a local pod as well. So is this our hand?
Why don't we go over? I need to get better with this tool because I don't know how to do all the commands.
Okay, yeah. So this is the pod, and we'll do it in the.
Yes, we got Derevi, Yoshi Thras. We're in 3rd seat on Rograkh Thrasios, and then Magda's in 4th seat. All right, so here's our first 7.
And we're in seat what?
Seat 3.
With Derevi, Yoshi, and Magda. I would actually keep.
Yeah.
I would keep this first 7.
This feels stable enough, right?
Yeah, I'd probably pitch the shifting.
Yeah.
And just play all my cards.
Yeah. So we draw E-Zone into, just vomit my hand.
So yeah.
Right. Into Rog and Thras. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just chilling into Rog, Thras, and Candle.
Yeah. So you're just playing everything.
Yeah. Oh, then great. And then now we just play our game plan, right?
Yeah, and now the Candle actually does something too.
Yeah. Generating a little more mana.
Wild growth.
And hopefully have a Cycryph for like an early Magda.
Magda, yeah. I mean, Cycryph's good against all of them. If any of them try to win, Cycryph is good against them. Plus, we're like overloading it on turn 2.
Yeah.
Which is really good against this pod.
Oh, so good. End step overloaded Cycryph on turn 2 is
plus
an insane
you have Talon Gates. Like Talon Gates is also really good against this pod. This is like a sick hand. And it doesn't look good on paper, really.
Right.
Right. It does. I mean, any hand with Soul Ring looks good, right?
I know. It
doesn't look like it does anything, but it actually does everything in context.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see one more because that's a quick one.
We're seat 1.
Yes, we're seat 1, Atali seat 2, Yoshi Thras seat 3, Kentnif seat 4.
Okay, let's take a look. kind of on the edge, honestly.
Yeah, right. It's like a little slow.
Show me the pod again. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Atali, Thrasios, Kenrith. Yeah, first 7 I'm not keeping.
Yeah, I hate to go into an Atali with no plan. Just pray.
Because if we had, instead of Magus, something that actually makes mana,
Yeah,
and we had like turn 2 Vitality, turn 3 copy Atali with Invasion
yeah.
kind of stuff,
If we don't lose, yeah.
I could be down.
But
Yeah,
this is turn 3. Yeah.
And this is first 7.
Yeah.
We can look at another one. Easy 6. Don't even think about those. Yeah, I'd keep.
What do you bottom?
Probably
Or Breeze Scholar?
one Shitong. I mean,
Really?
we have Cradle and Breeze Scholar.
Okay, yeah, sure. The clever though, I mean, are you thinking Atali with this, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I am thinking that. It's a little lofty, but also like Wan Shitong doesn't appear to be doing much here.
Yeah.
Breeze Clever at least has a role.
Yeah. This is just like vanilla good card, and this is like, well, if we don't lose.
I mean, we're first seat with a fish.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna make it to more mana sources. I think we're safe to count on the Impersonator.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, sweet. I know we don't have a ton of time, but I want to go into the tournament run. What was your overall vibe of the tournament? If you were like, I mostly played against this kind of deck or this kind of strategy, and then any memorable pods that you want to bring up?
I would say I mostly played against mid-range in the tournament itself.
Just great, yeah.
It's great. Yeah, the first pod was a really strange one. Seat 2 didn't show up. I was seat 1. And it was Mono White Heliod and Eureka.
Interesting.
And they were both definitely experts with their deck, but it just kind of felt like if I wanted to perform well in the tournament, I needed to come out of this pod with a win.
Yeah.
And I was able to. I kind of turn order simulated them a little bit and kind of, was playing a tier above them.
Yeah, deck-wise.
So, yeah, that's how it felt.
Okay.
So I was happy to get out of round 1 with a win. And then my second round was like a pod from the summer. It was like Sisay, Blue Farm, I'm C3, and then Gold Sabertooth playing Yoshi Thras.
Nice, yeah.
And we all kept 7 card hands except him. He went to 4. And Sisay played turn 1 fish, and Blue Farm played turn 1 fish, and I played turn 1 Ristic.
Nice.
And then Tim played turn 1 fish.
Wow.
And we were just like, mid-range slop, here we come.
Right.
And so everyone paid for their fish. We went around a cycle. I think Blue Farm and Tim, we all went around a cycle, and then on my turn 3, I just played like Cabbage Merchant, Badger Bowl, Kinnan.
Oof.
And like Growing Rights or something. So I was able to just kind of like play through the fish.
Yeah.
And then Tim replaced his fish with a Ristic. Sisay played Sisay. And I think after that explosion, Blue Farm was just like, I got to go. And they played an Uncounterable Voice. And I had the option to Born on top, but I thought just based on how the game had started that would definitely lead to a draw.
Yep.
So I chose to Otawara it and had like the out of getting a Sisay activation with my Candelabra.
Gotcha.
But I like misregistered Sisay's mana. They also didn't know that I could untap their lands. They actually had a Mind Break Trap in their hand. And when I went for the Otawara, they had a SWAT. So I made a judgment call to not Born. I mean, obviously in hindsight, I definitely should have.
You can bring up the Candelabras sooner too. You're like, hey, I can give people mana if they can counter this.
Yeah, if you have trap, yeah.
Yeah, right. But hindsight's.
I had angles. And, it sucks to lose with turn 1 Ristic into a pod where I was able to break parity. But I definitely learned from that.
Yeah.
Then the third pod was a very quick game with Lamora on seat 2, just rowing us.
Nice.
It wasn't that interesting.
Yeah.
I mulled to 6, kept like a mid hand with a Psych Rift, and he kind of politicked me off of Psych Rifting his Rowan. I was also scared because the Sisay had opened with Tinderball and then played like Sisay and Cabbage Merchant or something. So I kind of wanted him to deal with it, but it ended up not working out. Rowan was able to like triple push.
Yeah. Rowan is so good, dude. I just I cannot believe people are not more high on the deck.
One of the things to look at for a deck kind of shifting in like its power level or its power ranking is when it gets like a new cards. And Rowan has like 2 pivotal cards from Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They're like huge in the deck. So, and that's why I think another reason that Rograkh is strong is that it got a really good new card in Badgermole Cub, and just everyone got Cabbage Merchant.
Yep.
So I think that when I first started playing the Cradle version, or started playing the deck, it was just, I felt so far ahead of the metagame because I was on like that new technology.
Right.
That I think cEDH is such a, it's all about, it's an information game.
Totally.
Completely.
Yep.
So having like that new, no one's going to play around that Badgermole Aboro line.
Right. No, I don't even know it existed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sweet.
So that was round 3. I started 1-2. Obviously not where you want to be.
Yep.
And then I got paired. I was seat 3 for the rest of the day after my seat 1. I got paired into 3 people that were 0-3.
Oof.
Another Rograkh, Kinnan, and a Blue Farm player. All of them extremely skilled pilots. And we ended up in somewhat of a mid-range game where I think his name's Jorman.
Yeah, Jorman, one of the best players
Jorman.
in the nation. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Super skilled Kinnan pilot. He just slams like a turn 2 consecrated sphinxer. And I'm like, he's like, come on, let's do trade secrets. You already bled that clone. And I'm just like, this cannot favor me, but also like, but also the farm player was like, I can kind of do something. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to play it and like see what happens.
Sure.
Because I was kind of feeling like it was a chain of vapor and I had the SWAT. So that's what ended up happening. I got my SWAT countered. We picked up both Sphinxes. We played on. He replayed it. I then chose not to copy it because I was able to develop my Cradle off of a Urza Saga.
Yeah.
The game kind of devolved to us being in powerful positions, and then Blue Farm in kind of a last-ditch effort. There was a Bowmaster being passed around the table too, so I wasn't able to fully develop.
Gotcha.
But they dumped a lot of life into a Necro. They were seed 4, and in response to the Necro triggers, I went for a Born. I was able to get in Valley Floodcaller and Earthcraft, so I did have an Earthcraft game.
Nice.
And I had a bird token from the Swan Song on my SWAT. And so we got into a big fight in his end step where he ended up dying to the Bowmaster triggers. And then me and Jorman just had that kind of classic, he also had Valley Floodcaller, classic little instant speed fight where I'm last in priority. So I get my triggers first, and it came down really tight. I was able to, he passed priority on an Aboro, but I ended up not resolving it because I needed more creatures in play, and he had the Bowmaster, and we just ended up going to time.
Gotcha.
It was a big fight, but I was happy with the draw. They weren't happy with the draw, already sitting at 0-3. So I think I could have won that game, and I think I could have won round 2. So
yeah,
I was feeling good about my positions in the tournament, and I was just like, I just gotta like convert.
Yep.
And then the last round of day 1, I won on turn 2, which is just a really rare treat.
Yeah.
In Rograkh, just
how did you win?
Right when I needed it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I remember. I think it was Command Tower Soul Ring, turn 1, and then turn 2. I mean Rog, and then turn 2 Cradle, Cloud of Fairies, tap the Cradle, untap both. Mockingbird the Cloud of Fairies, untap both. Play Thrasios, play Growing Rights, find a Boro off the Growing Rights.
God, okay.
I also had Candelabra.
Wow.
And then I'm able to use the Candelabra to play the Training Grounds.
Nice. Yep. And then use non-deterministically Storm with the Aboro Thrasios.
And then I actually had to, I put in the Aboro, and I actually had to pick up the Cradle to untap my Command Tower to put the Training Grounds into play.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and then
I went to my end step,
right,
flipped the Growing Rights, and was able to get there with that.
So
I found a Born early, and then was able to convert by playing 2 1-mana green creatures.
Nice.
To get ahead of it.
Yeah. Wow.
The table was not pleased.
Yeah, they were like, "What is this luck?"
Shauna was like, I was expecting it from Godo, and what's the mono blue artifact creature commander?
Oh, yeah, Arkham Dagsson.
Arkham Dagsson, yeah. So C2 Dagsson, C4 Godo.
Yeah.
She was like, I was expecting it from them, but not from you.
Yeah. That's funny.
Sometimes you get there.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So that felt good. Locked day 2 with 11 points. I was in seat 4, first round of day 2. I ended up keeping a very slow 7-card hand against turn 1 Dargo Timna, or first seat Dargo Timna, second seat Sisay, third seat Rograkh Thrasios, where I had 2 lands, Sylvan Scrying, Snap and Ewit,
Mm-hmm.
and then Fierce and Mindbreak.
Sheesh.
So
You have the plan set up for you. You just have to
I
get
have a
there.
plan.
Yeah.
I do have a plan, and I have the interaction. I was able to force a draw by auto-warring a Grand Abolisher effect, making sure that the other two players were playing for a draw,
Yep.
showing them that I had 3 more counter spells,
Mm-hmm.
and then he couldn't push enough through them
Yep.
at that point.
Yep.
So got the draw there, and then just needed to win the last round.
Mm-hmm.
It was me in seat 2 this time, Farm in seat 1, Grixis Pirates, and Atali seat 4. We played a pretty balanced game up to the point where I started to take over.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Seedborn and a lot of mana sources, and we did go to time. And I said, I can't win the game, but we had talked about before the round, let's make sure we get a winner out of this pod.
Yep.
And I explained to them how I could win on the next turn's upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind enough to give me the concession, which is what I would do in that situation.
Me too.
I think that, us as a cEDH community, when it's clear, I think that it's a good thing to do. Obviously, I was the benefactor in this.
Yeah.
But I would do the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, go into top 16,
Mm-hmm.
and seat 1 is another Rograkh player who was playing a crazy build, way more interesting build than my build, in my opinion.
Was it let's just
Lionel?
Lionel. Oh. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Duskwatch Recruiter. Hell yeah. Ice Till, Supportive Parents is really cool.
I think the blank card is Cabbage Merchant.
Yep. Yes, it is. Peregrine Drake. Oh, I saw this. I think he was on a stream game, actually, because he played a Nyx Bloom Ancient, and then he copied it like 3 times. And
Genesis Waved or something?
Mana. Yeah. Yeah, kind of almost semi-bluish.
Right.
Yeah.
Semi-blue with morals.
Yeah, right. Some responsibility. Not a lot of responsibility, but some responsibility.
So that was the game I was talking about where I played turn 1 Cabbage Merchant.
Yep.
With my last card being Force of Will. Notorious had a somewhat slowish start on Arkham. His blue mana was pretty taxed. Corbin had kind of limited mana production, but the kind that's scary in Blue Farm, where it's like if this is all you have going on, we're dead, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we ended up being able to stop the Oboro push from the other Rograkh player. Corbin actually had an interactive hand, which is funny because he plays a very aggressive version of Farm.
Yeah.
And I, in the process of stopping the other Rograkh, I was able to put a Nature's Rhythm in my hand, and I had the turn 1 E-Zone, and Cabbage Merchant was working, and I had found Cradle.
Nice.
So Notorious went for a push. It was pretty interesting because he had Metalworker to fuel it, so we kind of knew his hand. I will say, this is going to be my soapbox moment.
Yeah.
You should take notes while you're playing.
Agreed.
cEDH.
So deeply agreed.
All tournament players that play 60-card Magic take notes.
Yeah.
They all write down when they see a card. People show each other their cards all the time in cEDH. You're playing a 9-round tournament. Don't use your mental capacity on remembering their cards.
Totally agree.
Write them down.
Yep.
So I had his hand written down. We knew we figured out his line. We're in top 16. Everyone
knows what
understands how the mechanics work.
Yeah.
He put an Arcbound Ravager on the stack that with the draw Scorpion was going to alternate untapping Metalworker and One Ring. So mana plus cards equals winning the game.
Yeah.
Corbin had a Red Blast in his hand, but he ends up tapping out for an Adnaz for interaction. And I decide to crack E-Zone and put my Nature's Rhythm on the stack. Notorious then flashes in Liberator.
Sheesh.
And we end up having a huge fight that involves using Cabbage to look for more interaction, finding a clone for the other Rogtrass's Cloud of Fairies to get more looks, and I was just able to fight through and end up with the top of the stack being my tutor for Oboro.
Nice.
With the E-Zone active.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And we got there.
That's sweet.
But that was another situation where I was acting on the turn of the person after me, which is extremely beneficial.
So
in
good, dude. Yeah, especially with things like mana production engines, where you get to let your triggers resolve and then respond to everyone else's. It's just a phenomenal way to play the game. Yeah, I agree.
And that's also how the final pod ended up playing out.
Right.
Where I would say the first 10 spells that were cast were just instantly passed on.
Mhm.
Everyone resolved everything.
Mhm.
I mean, my hand was insane. It's exactly what you want in the last pod. Seat 2 with a gemstone, play an island, put a wild growth on it with the gemstone, tap the land, use the green for Mana Vault, play Heuristic.
Yeah.
It's just
Chef's
actual
kiss.
nuts.
Yeah.
If you don't, I had crop rotation too in my hand.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
that was just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, feels good.
Yeah.
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 Uh, but yeah, I think a lot of people probably watched that game. I had crop rotate for Cradle and then just played an Ewit. In this deck, sometimes you just play Ewit. If you already have Cradle, you just get it out there.
Yeah.
So I picked back up the crop rotation. Crop rotation was a known quantity. When Freedom Waffle played his turn 3 Consecrated Sphinx,
Yep.
he basically instantly started politicking for it not to be phased out.
I remember. Yeah.
And just said he would only draw 4 cards a turn with it.
For
Which
like
sounded
2 turn
reasonable.
cycles, right?
No, forever.
Oh, forever.
2 triggers
Each turn
a
cycle.
turn cycle.
Interesting. Okay.
Forever. So I wasn't even sure I was going to do that, but I was glad that it felt like a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
You know, we did split so to take the pressure off of the game. So he was like, I'm not trying to. I think it makes sense from his position because he's not trying to surge out ahead necessarily.
Yeah. Especially, I'm assuming
he doesn't want to be the enemy.
Time limit on this game as well.
3 hours.
Okay, so he is in the position where he wants the game to go as long as possible and force other people to push.
That's true.
Yeah.
Definitely true. But we just end up with all the draw engines in play. We politic with Matt that I won't phase out his Rowan if he only plays 1 spell on his turn. So I know the casters were kind of questioning why he didn't go further. He was like, well, what if I tutor up a sweeper? And I was just like, I don't think I want that. No. How about you play 1 spell? And then Evan was just like, I don't really want to do anything with all these resources in everyone's hand.
Yep.
I developed to a point of scary mana and see no reason to do anything. And then that's when the final turn of any consequence happens where the nib player plays his VV and just goes for the curiosity immediately. He may have cast a Mana Rock or something before.
Yeah.
That's when I cast my crop rotation. I honestly think about just getting the Talon Gates and just kind of stopping this from happening.
Yeah.
Just let's keep playing the game. But at the same time, once I let up the crop rotation, then Rowan is free to pop off with the Harnfell.
They had
back of Burby.
Definitely a lot of stuff they could have done. I think Matthew was not out of the game by any means.
No. Yeah. So that's when I just decided to go for the E-Zone and have the longest fight.
And did you...
With shifting loyalties at all times, you know?
Yeah. Did you lead politically with, I'm going to crack this E-Zone so I can Gilded Drake the VV?
I just said I'm just going to get E-Zone and crack it immediately.
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting.
And, and I just put the Gilded Drake in the stack. I mean, I guess I was thinking about hitting the VV just to kind of stop things, but that does make it a little weird because the Curiosity still draws him cards.
Exactly. Yep.
And then basically I just was like, I'm just going to target Consecrated Sphinx. I mean, we don't have to go in every detail about how this stack played out. There was actually 3 full stacks that resolved.
Nice.
And the biggest question I've gotten here locally and just from people after was like auto-wiring the VV after it had already activated. All the Curiosity was still on the stack. I think at that point, I just felt like my best out to how Freedom Waffle had been playing was for the VV to actually pressure his life total.
That's what I thought too. I was because you were at the most advantageous life total at that point, right?
Yeah, and at some point, I don't know if it was before that or after that, he had paid 2 life to a misstep as well.
Interesting.
So I was ahead of him by 4 instead of 2.
Yeah.
And I did miss the Trick Bind turns off that permanence abilities, not just the one that it countered.
Yep.
So I didn't tap my Thrasios for mana. And then I was a little bit just pigeonholed into using the Talon Gates at that point.
Yeah.
But it happened to be at the exact right time. And he also happened to not have the Flash Enabler in hand. He was talking about how he didn't have it yet.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, Joe's just being set up to
lose,
get Freedom Waffled.
Right. It's happened to me too many times.
Yeah. I mean, when I did the Talon Gates, I was just like, well, at least I've had this experience. I'll know for next time.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure you know what
I
it's like
do.
to play with.
Yeah. He's
So
probably the best politician in our game, if I were to
yeah,
give that to someone.
and as valuable as politics are, that probably makes him the best player. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if we're looking at recent tournament results,
Yeah.
once he was dead, yeah, that's when it was really I was actually gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And I was able to just activate Kinnan. I didn't have to put another spell in the stack. I just counted my deck, and it was less than the mana I had.
mm-hmm.
So I did find the Oboro on the first Kinnan, but I didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
yeah. Well,
the
I don't know if
rest
I've
is
said it
glory.
yet, but congratulations, dude. I mean,
You
really
did, yes,
exciting.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was an awesome game to win as well.
Yeah.
I think that if you're a fan of cEDH and the way that tournament cEDH is played, that's a good finals game.
Agreed. Yeah. I need to
I mean,
rewatch the full thing.
Turn 2 Pier is also dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a completely different reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to have that diversity.
Yeah.
Of
totally agree.
How things go. It seems like it's just such a combo format, so high powered,
mm-hmm.
so high variance. Everyone's just talking the whole time. But
yep.
within the space, it's really cool how many different strategies are able to work
mm-hmm.
and how new cards come in and drastically affect the format.
Yeah. I mean, I just think Simic as a strategy got so much better from Avatar. Really, truly, those 3 cards made a huge difference in the deck's identity.
Yeah. That's what I was banking on.
Yeah.
With the design of my list, I felt like I was well positioned by having so much experience with Rograkh that I've been devoted to the Simic build,
mm-hmm.
that I had a good understanding of how to leverage the new cards. Yeah, that it just kind of lined up in my favor. And I think that like we were talking about at the beginning,
mm-hmm.
that just making the right decisions over time, there's no guarantee of results, but it obviously feels great to get the trophy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish we could talk for another hour, but we do have to start wrapping. So the big things.
We are already over time.
Oh yeah. The big things that I want to focus on in the last few minutes here is tell me about preparation, testing, and the group that you play with, because I think this is some of the most important part of this game.
This stuff is great. I watch a lot of content, consume a lot of content about cEDH.
mm-hmm.
I love to hear a lot of different people's ideas. I'm going to shout out basically who I like to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I always listen to Sam's Table
mm.
as someone who comes from 60 card Magic.
Yeah.
Sam Black. I mean, the way he thinks about Magic is unique.
Yep.
He's also extremely skilled.
Mm-hmm.
Critical EDH, they're like a group of tournament grinders that are very finger on the pulse of the format. Plus, I think the Denver meta, they just have so many players there. It's like they're playing a large scale event on a weekly basis. They just
mm-hmm.
move through it a lot faster. Winning in.
Love Max. Yeah.
Great. Max P. MTG Basics. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I listen to your stuff too. I listened to y'all's discussion about, those deep game stack battles, mm-hmm. how to interact. I mean, even things when you hear them, it's just, and getting an idea of how people think about the format, where people's heads are at, just understanding that. I try to stay engaged with that. I know a lot of people just run a lot of spell table games, and that's how they stay sharp.
Yeah.
I've never been a Magic Online grinder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll use it for testing when I have to, but I just try to play a lot of live Magic.
Yeah.
Play 2 or 3 times a week here in New Orleans.
Nice. With
just an awesome group of people that are always trying to get better. I mean, we've been traveling to tournaments together, and through my company, 504 MTG, mm-hmm. We're a vendor, but we're also getting into running tournaments.
Sweet.
On a small scale with our LGSs, and hopefully to scale it up. And there is a major tournament coming to New Orleans, the Boil, in March.
Oh yeah.
That we will be at. Hopefully all of our local players will be out there in force, repping us. And I mean, it's just been so amazing getting into the cEDH space, meeting amazing people like you. And I mean, through the success this weekend, I got to meet a lot of the top players in the game.
Yeah.
And it's a small, passionate, wonderful community that I'm so grateful to make my mark in.
Yeah, that's beautiful and really awesome. It does come down to the people at the end of the day, and having that group of people that you're sticking with and who are helping you prep and you talk about the game with, you have the car rides with, the, meals after tournaments. That's what makes this format, for me, worth playing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I know that you're really passionate about putting SoCal on the map mm-hmm. in terms of cEDH, and it just feels great to bring one home. for the Deep South, for Southern Louisiana. I mean, we're kind of a sleeper pick. We have
Yeah.
good Magic players in many formats
Yeah.
over the years, but I just want the community down here to grow
Sweet.
and just to be a part of the greater amazing community.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, and as part of this wrap up, like where can people find you? Where can people work with 504? For anyone who's in your area, how can they get connected into the scene that you want to build?
So we actually are running a tournament this weekend on Sunday, December 7th at Coliseum Card Company in Metairie, Louisiana. So if you are local to us, come check us out. We're going to have a case there. They have their case. It's going to be a big event. I mean, we're just trying to grow a lot, and it's awesome that it's happening this weekend after such a big win for myself. I won't be playing. Also, you're safe from me, but
you're safe from all the people that watched you win this big tournament too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You knowing my deck list won't help you, but yeah. So I am the most Joe, all lowercase on like every platform. So you can hit me up there. That's how Zach got in touch with me through Discord. Also on Reddit, Instagram, all the major platforms, on adnos.gg as well, which is a great new resource. Yeah, if you want to reach out to me for any reason, get involved, have any questions about the deck or for me. I mean, I've never coached on Magic before. I've never been coached on Magic, but I'm definitely happy to give you feedback. I mean, if you want something more in depth of that nature, I'm open to it.
Sweet.
But yeah. And also under our brand 504 MTG, we've been planning on making content for a long time, just leaning a little bit into that. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, X, I'm at the most Joe, and we'll be updating all over.
Hell yeah. Super exciting. Maybe I would love to do a follow-up if you want, and we could maybe kind of do like a little one kind of thing I want to introduce with the channel is more coaching and getting more coaches out there so that people have access to them. So we could do a coaching session together, and you can kind of give me how you would coach someone on this deck, who wants to find success.
Cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm definitely open to something like that.
Sweet. Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, I know we had a bunch of other questions, but this has been a really fun conversation, and I'm super excited to play this deck.
It was going to get deep just with so much there's to talk about. I mean, that's how Rograkh is. It's just, the main thing is breach or not breach. I feel like it's obvious where I lie, and I think that the results speak for it. Obviously, breach wins a lot too, but I think with the new cards, it's something to consider more heavily, just leading into the synergy of having a clean list. I love hearing people say that about the list, is that it looks focused, which I was so happy to be playing, and I'm glad that I got to show it to the world.
Yeah, me too, dude. I think if I were to like put your list in a sentence, I would say like consistency is key. The cards are good all the time instead of only some of the time, and it's really playing to the strengths of all the new cards really, really well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate all the kind words from everyone, and all I can be is grateful.
Hell yeah.
And definitely shout out to everyone in New Orleans. I literally could not do this without y'all. You are everything to me. So it's a dream come true.
Woo! Good episode. Hell yeah. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to tune in for some future episodes that Joe and I do together. Make sure to follow him on his socials. Keep track of what 504 is a part of. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. Reach out to me if you're interested in cEDH coaching. I won the Invitational last year, and it was a long process grinding throughout the season, winning tournaments, and getting to that spot where I could eventually take down one of the biggest events that I've ever been a part of. I'm happy to work with you and make this coaching really personalized, and I want to do the best I can to make you a better player. So reach out to me if you're interested. I'd love to chat with you and see if coaching is the right option for you. That's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and we'll catch you next week on Bite Size Magic.